Coming up on RNE TV Live, we investigate pronoun usage and gender identity.
Plus, we look back at Gullah Week for our final coverage of Black History Month.
And we head to Soda City to learn about a Black-owned donut shop downtown. And MJ is live in the studio with a new edition of What's Good. Get ready because RNE TV Live starts now.
Good morning, Cavs. Today is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. I'm Tyler Stodchill.
And I'm Camille Husendove. Today is International Women's Day. We will continue our coverage on Women's History Month throughout the month of March.
Let's jump right into today's top story. According to the CDC, 2% of high school students identify as transgender. As students face the obstacle of their gender identity, schools are faced with the legalities of using a student's preferred pronouns. But are schools in South Carolina required to use a student's preferred pronoun and name? RNE TV Live reporter Lillian Morostovich researched the laws.
That does conclude our notes or presentation for today.
Student pronouns, names, and usage has been a hot topic for years, with states and counties taking different stances. In South Carolina, there are no laws that say that the pronouns and names of non-cisgendered students must be respected. According to Helen Grant, the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Richland II, legislation that would do the opposite is pending in the state legislature.
We are of some legislation that is pending in our state legislature right now that could have just the opposite effect.
Though there are no laws in South Carolina, there are laws at the federal level.
It's federal case law from the 4th Judicial Circuit, which includes South Carolina, that says that students must be treated based on their gender identity.
Any accommodations for students that can be made all hinge on one thing: parental consent. Some students may be unable to come out to their parents or simply may not want to, which can cause a problem.
It's like you never know somebody's situation, and I've had multiple friends who just aren't comfortable coming out at home, and I've had multiple friends who have been outed by the district, and that just creates a whole set of problems.
Without parental consent, nothing technically has to happen. Official accommodations cannot be made, and no one has to respect the student's pronouns. Parental consent is required to officially change a student's name and pronouns on PowerSchool, and to officially make any changes regarding a student until they are over the age of 18.
We do say, though, that if a student is not yet age 18, they do need parental permission in order to ask for changes in things like names, because that's what's on the official transcript, their official birth certificate.
Even laws on this topic are controversial, with people on both sides of the discussion.
If let's say a student, could wind up, let's say, suing somebody because they weren't being addressed by the pronoun that they want to be addressed by.
Yes, because it's just a certain bit of human decency, and we're just respecting somebody and how they identify.
Regardless of your opinion, gender expression continues to be in the spotlight. We will keep you posted on any law changes. Reporting for RNE TV Live, I'm Lillian Morostovich.
Thanks, Lillian. The CDC also reports that 1/3 of transgender high school students attempt suicide. If you or someone you know needs more assistance in managing their gender identity, reach out to a school counselor or visit thetrevorproject.org. Today's word of the day is potent, which means having great power, influence, or effect. For example, the potent scent of the perfume made me start sneezing. For Women's History Month, the Media Center wants to spotlight women on campus who run the world. Today, we spotlight Mrs. Dawn Flewellen, a science teacher here at RNE. Besides being a wonderful science teacher, she is also the director of the science department. Mrs. Flewellen, we salute you. On March 10th, seniors have the opportunity to take the ASVAB Career Assessment and earn CCR status. This week's Cavalier Student of the Week earned CCR status by scoring well on the ASVAB. Congratulations to Davis Slay, our Student of the Week. Last week, RNE celebrated Black History Month by focusing on Gullah Geechee culture. Student government hosted a woman from Charleston to talk about her experiences with African culture with students. On Friday, an African drummer came and showed students different techniques on how to drum. He also gave a chance for students to play the drums and taught them different Gullah songs.
Gullah is a beautiful culture and language in the coastal areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And it's where we pair that word with Geechee, Gullah Geechee. And it means that you have kept most of your Africanisms intact throughout enslavement.
African drumming is percussion instruments from the continent of Africa. I particularly focus on West African drumming, and in particular, drumming from Guinea and Mali.
Today, we continue our social and emotional learning week. RNE TV Live reporter Christina Foster is live in the studio with Mrs. Black to continue this week's activities.
Good morning, Cavs. I'm Christina Foster, and today we continue our social and emotional learning week. Today is day 2, and here's Ms. Black with more.
Yes, so today is day 2, and today we are all focusing on relationships. So relationships can have a positive impact on our mental health when we form good relationships with others. But a key part to forming good relationships is empathy. So empathy is our key word today. And empathy is our ability to understand each other and to just relate to one another and our feelings. So that's what we're going to be working on today, is empathy and relationships.
Okay, so what is the challenge for today?
Okay, so the challenge for today is actually a Jamboard. Teachers, you all have been sent a link to the Jamboard, and there is one question that each class must answer. Students, for you to get your participation points, all you have to do is get actively involved in the conversations. Teachers will be sending me the names of the students mostly involved. Teachers, as long as you do this with your classes, you will get your participation points for today. So that's it. It's just a simple Jamboard.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to make sure I fill out that Jamboard. Yes. Okay. Reporting for RNE TV Live, I'm Christina Foster. Now back to the anchors.
Thank you, Christina. Coming up after the break, we get a taste of Columbia's most popular sweet treats.
And MJ is live with a new edition of What's Good. We will be right back.
A woman in history that's inspired me is definitely Marie Curie, who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. She pioneered research in radioactivity in the early 1900s.
I think her name is Malala Yousaf, I think. She was the young lady that was attacked by the Taliban, and she's just been doing amazing advocacy work for people in her country.
She's not in history, but she's my aunt. She's kind of old, so I can say that. I don't know, like, she inspired me to keep my peace and keep going. And, like, don't give up.
Like I said, Queen Latifah. I feel like Queen Latifah is one of the powerful women in hip-hop, acting, all types of things. And I feel like she's a strong woman. She didn't fit the description of what they assumed a woman to be, especially in her time.
Probably Zendaya, just because of where she came from and where she is now. She's just, like, a big inspiration to me.
Rosa Parks, because she didn't give up her seat because she believed she had a right to sit there, and now everybody has a right to sit wherever they want to sit at.
And the young lady who inspired me was Hedy Lamarr. She was the lady that had the technology behind Wi-Fi, and I'm thank God for her, because if there was no Wi-Fi, there would be no research papers, no school for me to further my education.
Natural hair is unique to different cultures, but each group embraces the natural beauty. From the Fros to the Kinks, natural hair in the African American community is seen as a tool of empowerment, but is often seen unprofessional. 1 in 5 Black women feel social pressure to straighten their hair for work. That's twice as many as white women. Black women are also more likely to report having professional styling appointments more often than white women. Almost all women worry about their hair to some extent, but Black women experience high level of anxiety more than white women. Natural hair discrimination is discrimination based on hair texture, which is a form of social injustice that has been mostly experienced by African Americans. While it might seem innocent or pure, walking up to someone touching their hair is offensive and disrespectful. Our hands carry an abundant amount of germs, and you would be carrying and transferring your germs into someone else's hair. While there is no federal law prohibiting this issue, states like California, New Jersey, Colorado, Connecticut, New Mexico, Delaware, and Nebraska passed what is known as the Crown Act, which prohibits discrimination against workers and students based on their natural hair. By altering kinky, curly, and coily textures for a straighter style, African Americans are erasing markers of their African identities. We must learn that each natural texture is different and unique in its own way. Reporting for RNE TV Live, I'm Alani Hamilton.
Welcome back. Seniors, an admissions representative from Midlands Technical College will be in a college center, room A109, tomorrow during lunch. The representative will help with applying to the college as well as answering questions about submitting an application. The Spring Blood Drive is Thursday, March 24th from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. in the Auxiliary Gym. RNE is in the running for the top spot in South Carolina, so let's keep it up. And we will have free t-shirts for our RNE donors. If you would like to sign up, please visit redcrossblood.org and enter the sponsor code Richland NEHS, and then sign in or make an account to finalize your appointment. Soda City is Columbia's destination of food and crafts on Saturday morning. If you've ever been, I'm sure you've seen the line at the Donut Guy truck. RNE TV Live reporter Amanya Roach went behind the scenes to uncover their humble beginnings.
The Donut Guy is a Black-owned, family-owned donut shop here in Columbia, South Carolina. They have a growing fan base and offer a variety of flavors to keep the community interested. But it didn't just take pastries to get to this point.
Well, I had a long-time job at Coca-Cola, and I got laid off right around when Obama became president, around that time.
It had to happen for us to look at things differently. You know, God knows what he's doing. He set it up like that, so that had to happen to show us, you know, what could be and what ultimately ended up.
They thought it would be a nice idea to buy a donut maker for their donut-loving child.
I bought this donut machine for my daughter. She loves these mini donuts. Every time we go to fairs and stuff, she makes me stand in this long line.
We had the opportunity to buy our first machine, and we did, and didn't really utilize it initially in the beginning.
With just a donut machine and a dream, Sean looked to the streets to start his new business.
My wife kept telling me, you need to sell donuts, you need to sell donuts. So I got the donut machine out the garage, set it up, and started going to farmers markets and stuff like that.
His business began to pick up after a while. The family joined the company and packed up their belongings to relocate to Winsboro.
We found that in Winsboro, our physical Winsboro location, donut-wise, did not do as well as it did mobily.
The family then decided that coming to Columbia would be the best option. This final move has been a blessing in disguise for them.
Honestly, I want to say it was the best thing we've ever done. In Winsboro, it kind of wasn't as much people as it is in Columbia and stuff like that.
But if it hadn't been for the family's ability to work together as a unit, this process would not have progressed.
We're together all day, every day.
It's us together. We get on each other's nerves, we fuss, we fight, we get attitudes, everybody goes to their corner, all of that, but we could not do it without all of us.
Despite the many setbacks, this family still made something sweet out of this. Reporting for RNE TV Live, I'm Imania Roach.
Thanks, Amanya. Check out Soda City this weekend for even more delicious food trucks. As we discussed earlier, RNE is celebrating Social and Emotional Awareness Week. Mary Jane decided to get in on the fun with this week's Tip Tuesday. Here is a new edition of What's Good.
Good morning, Cavs. I'm Mary Jane Davis, and welcome to another episode of What's Good. Today is Tip Tuesday, which means we'll give you all the latest tips to make your life just a bit easier. Now, let's get into our tips for today. For Tip Tuesday, we will be discussing some simple tips to do daily for the ladies. We know it's stressful sometimes to stay in the classroom and learn so many things in one day and remember all of it. So hopefully these tips will help make your life just a bit easier. First up, we have mindful journaling. This process consists of letting all those emotions, worries, and other negative thoughts out of your head and on a piece of paper. These could also be positive thoughts to look back on and encourage you throughout your day. Next up, pampering yourself. Pampering yourself is super important. You could do a face mask, dress up, or even dance around your house. I encourage all my ladies to do something that excites you or even makes you happy. Trust me, we would love to see those smiles in the morning. Speaking of mornings, we all know one tip that will help all of us, and that's water intake. We all wake up from a good night's rest, but what we forget about is how dehydrated we are in the mornings. The more water you drink in the mornings can also lead to a better immune system. And remember, our bodies are our temples. 5 minutes a day kicks the stress away. Meditation is a great way to get started with your day. You can do this just by clearing your mind and staying calm, and it can really benefit you in so many ways. Your moods get better, your mind's more focused, the list goes on and on. It only takes 5 minutes, and if you want to go longer, be my guest. But give this a shot and let us know how it went. Last but not least, we have the most important tip of all, sleep. Now, this one's my personal favorite, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know sleep is essential, but it's important how long you sleep. Getting an ample amount of rest can energize you in the morning and throughout the day. So I encourage you to get at least 7 to 8 hours a night so you can feel like a brand new person in the morning. Thanks for tuning in to Tip Tuesday. I hope these tips help you begin your self-care journey. If you have a tip that you feel could help someone out, tweet us at CavFlex using the hashtag What'sGoodRNE. On Thursday, we will cover what's going on around the school. Reporting for RNE TV Live, I'm Mary Jane Davis. Now, back to the anchors.
Thanks, Mary Jane. That wraps up today's show. Thursday, we are back with more social and emotional awareness week and a look at phones in the classroom. Reporting for RNE TV Live, I'm Tyler Stodchill.
And I'm Camille Husendove. Remember, it's a great day to be a Cavalier.